Welcome, everyone. We are back after a really long hiatus. Just
Wow.
so much going on in our worlds, and it's been so long since I streamed. I totally forgot my earbuds. So hopefully we don't get too much feedback. But welcome to the Power Possibilities, the podcast and live stream where we talk about tools of access consciousness. And today it's all about success.
Yay. I am so grateful that we are in the creative space and there's so much going on. It's so much fun. This is like really living. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think this is the first time we streamed in almost like 2 months. I think it's been that
I
long. We've both
know.
been doing all kinds of things, and we have a lot of classes that are going to be coming out as we approach October, leading up to Talk to the Entities. We'll be rolling all that out very soon as we start to stream a lot more often again. Now that summer's kind of like winding down a little bit, but also let us know. Like today's about success, but what topics would you guys like? We can always take deep dives into areas that you like. And even though today's topic is on success, any comments that you have, any questions you have, feel free to ask them. We like these to be as interactive as possible. We have Valerie tuning in saying hello. We have Mike saying finally. He's been waiting for us for a long time. We have Debbie joining us every day, and every way things get better. How much better can it go? So people have been very eager to have us back on and streaming again. So welcome, everyone. Where shall we start our conversation, Heather?
Well, first of all, I'm so grateful for you. I'm grateful for everyone who's tuning in and watching. And wow. So thank you guys. And the topic that really popped for today was success and how maybe some of us have a different definition of success than this reality defines success.
Absolutely, because we are always taught from our parents like what success is. Like you got to do the thing called go to college, and you got to do the thing they call get a job and then get married. And what if success is really about being your authentic voice in this world and being able to express that? Or maybe it's something different for everybody, but just the freedom to explore that for yourself. Like part of it is getting rid of all the places where you were imprinted on what success is, because maybe that doesn't sing to your heart or your soul or your authentic voice in this world.
Truly. And one of my favorite things that Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, these amazing tools that we're talking about, that he talks about success as your success if you've changed one person, if you've changed their life. And my gosh, if you've been to a bars class, if you know one clearing or one question or one tool, you've changed your own life and the lives of other people that you've come in contact with. So I would really wonder for everyone who's watching this now and in the future, where have you devalued? Where have you discounted yourself because you don't match this reality's definition of what it is to be successful?
Pretty much all of us, probably.
Yeah. I mean, doesn't that just bring up this energy of like almost a beyond of like, wow. I mean, what if you are far more successful than you've ever acknowledged? When you really look at it from how many lives have you changed? How many people have you touched? And what if everybody walks away from you, from whatever interaction they have with you, changed?
And I would call that success. And I think Simone Milasas, who wrote the book, The Joy of Business, she would be selling like stickers and things, and she would consider an event a success if she saw somebody that had put it on a bumper sticker or had it on their water bottle, whatever the case is. She saw that she was spreading the message, and it wasn't so much about how well she did, even monetarily, even though that's always nice. She saw that she was changing people's lives. And just one story from my own experience, I was at my first ever holistic show of all time, and it was like $400 for the day, and I didn't even break even. And it's kind of like you could very easily go to like, well, this was a waste of time, this sucked or whatever. But fortunately, my mentor always said, you don't know how a show is until at least 6 months out. And within about 3 months after that show, someone I connected with hosted me for a private class for aromatherapy. I sold like $3,000 worth of product in a day. And if I had chucked it up and if I had held the expectation that that was a waste, maybe the universe wouldn't have given me that possibility. So where are we shortchanging ourselves thinking that something wasn't worthwhile when really you could open up your awareness and feel and see something else is possible here, and then the willingness to receive it, because that's where it really comes down to, is our willingness to receive and not having expectations about how something shows up.
Oh my gosh, truly. Yeah. I mean, and it's those pesky expectations of anyone or anything that can really get in the way of us being able to, like you said, receive, receive the and and receiving, you know, let's pock and pot all our definitions of that because there's, stuff there. But, receiving is a two-way street. As you gift, so shall you receive. So, what gift are you that you haven't been willing to receive? That if you were willing to receive it, would allow you to change your life in the world? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Whew, right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And for those of you who are new to this, that's the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. And it's a way of bypassing your logical mind and getting at the energy of what's actually keeping you from receiving and being you.
Yeah. And there are links in the video description. I have a link that takes you to a page that goes over, there's a video from Dr. Dain Heer, and it talks a lot more in depth about the clearing statement. So we don't have to go too far into it right now, but it would behoove you to check it out, because they call pot and pock like the superheroes of consciousness.
Yeah.
It's that whole clearing statement is this wild, wacky thing that really, you don't have to understand it for it to work, but it's like the magic wand that just starts to eliminate the places in our lives where these limitations are bubbling up and creating the life that we don't want to see show up. So when we use this, it starts to create the space for the life that you do want to show up. And you just keep using it, use all the tools. We have Mark. Mark, it has been so long since I've seen you.
Hey,
Screening from Dairy Queen. And then we have Valerie just saying, I feel like an outsider for sure regarding success and things like that. And Mike was just saying yes to the clearing statement.
Truly. Yeah. And I mean, as we were talking about success, I was wondering, like, what have all of you guys defined as success, and what definitions and lies are you buying about what success is or isn't, that are keeping you confined and you limited? And everything that is, everything holding that in place, and everything making that true and real for you, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Wow.
Awesome. Oh, a couple more comments. Oh, we just have Mike saying yes to every clearing. So like if you really want yeah, I was putting myself on mute because I'm not 100% sure, since I don't have headphones, if there's like feedback on Heather's side because I'm talking, and anyway, so I'm just being a little bit mindful about that. But when we do that clearing statement, when we ask if you will destroy it and create it, consciously like saying yes, I feel is a lot more dynamic than just kind of sitting and not being fully engaged with it. So feel free to put out a resounding yes when we say those things. I feel it creates a lot more, but that might just be my point of view.
Well, I run so many clearing statements a day, and I have my kind of personal favorites. I have my, I have a clearing that if you've been in a class or, with me this year, you've heard me run it over and over, that I run 30 times a day, every day. And the reason I do that is because my life gets lighter and it gets easier and it shows up differently. One thing that we say with access, and it truly applies to success, is that your point of view creates your reality, not the other way around. And what the clearing statement does is it changes these places where we might be functioning from an energetic consideration or a point of view that we might not even recognize. Like, I can't be more successful than my brother, or other people get angry with me when I outcreate them, or whatever the point of view is. We may not even recall it. It may have been so long ago, perhaps from another lifetime. And the clearing statement can handle all of that without us having to compute it or logic it out of existence.
Yeah, that reminds me, like the Western mind, we like to know what we're throwing away. If you can destroy and create your need to know what you're getting rid of, things are so much easier. It's like if you moved into a house 10 years ago and there's this box that's not unpacked, do you really have to go through it? Pretty chances are you don't need it. You've gone 10 years without it. You can just throw it away, And the other comment that you just made that brings up the idea of glass ceilings in access is like when we're taught, money is the root of all evil, for example. What if we buy the point of view that if I'm rich, I'm going to turn evil? or something like that, and it creates a limitation that even though you're consciously
Really? Yeah.
trying to create abundance for yourself or success for yourself, there's this little thing that got stuck with you in childhood that you'll never be willing to go past a certain point, because now you're gonna that's the point where I have too much money and I'll be evil. So if you can really start to trudge up these things and not having to actually look at them, but using the clearing statement and other access tools to just wipe them out, it really creates this whole new space that you can step into in terms of receiving from the universe and really letting your life show up way more dynamically than it ever has before. Like I can't believe how much my life has changed just in the last 2 months since we've been streaming. It's a whole different world. And what if every
It
day could be
is.
a whole different world of success and positivity and you being able to help people and be successful, or whatever your passions are. Passions. I don't know if I like that word. Whatever your choices are. Let's just call it choices, because that's what it is. It says you get to choose, and based on what shows up, you can choose again, or you consistently choose things that are going to add more to the thing that is showing up. So it's all about that choice and really just peeling off all this stuff that doesn't serve you anymore.
Oh my gosh. And I mean, I really do have to acknowledge that too. Like there has been so much change in the world, in my life, in everyone I talk to lately. And what I love about these tools and what I'm so grateful for about them is that the mantra of access consciousness is that all of life comes to us with ease and joy and glory. Thank you, Hank, for having that at the ready. Um, and what if all of life could truly come to us with ease and joy and glory, no matter what's going on? And where are we avoiding that? And everything that that is, and everything that makes that valuable, can we destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds.
And we actually have someone from one of the Facebook groups. There is a link. If you're watching from one of the Facebook groups, you can click it to get StreamYard permission to know who you are. So you're just a mysterious Facebook user in this case. But they asked, I have a lot of blockages around being a woman. I was told because I was a female, I was worth less and better get used to it. I feel like I hit a brick wall when I try to better myself. And this is something that's in our corporate culture, even with the glass ceilings and all the perceptions that people get paid different amounts just because of their sex or religious, even in some cases, or whatnot.
Well, and you know what, I would have to say that there are two amazing books that I would totally recommend from Access Consciousness that deal with both sides of this, and we're required to read them as facilitators because The Gentleman's Club is a book that was based on a class that Douglas did with a group of men where they talked about the issues that they were facing as men, the judgments that were being impelled at them in the world, where they were looking for, what can we create as men to make our lives and the world a better place and to contribute to the women in our lives. So that's an amazing book that looks from a man's perspective, and another book called Salon de Femme, which is an amazing class that Gary facilitated with a group of women where they had these really vulnerable conversations around what it is to be a woman and what can you create as a woman that you couldn't create otherwise, and how can you step into everything that's possible for you with that. And it has a lot of amazing clearings and in-depth information to really get free of these places, as you acknowledged, where we were told that we were less, or where we were told that you can only do this, that, or the only thing. So, where have all of us bought that we cannot be successful, that we can't create what we'd like to create, that we can't have what we'd like to have, because we're either a woman or we're a man? And everything that that is, can we destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And what is possible for you that isn't possible for anyone else? What is possible for you exactly as you are? There's this amazing question from Access: what's right about me I'm not getting? And really playing with that. What's right about you you're not getting? And anything you've done to buy the lies and the points of view and the judgments of other people that you are somehow less, Will you destroy and uncreate all of that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And again, what is possible for you with the body you have, with the whole life that you've had, that isn't possible for anyone else? And everything you're not willing to perceive, know, be, and receive about that, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. We had a resounding hell yes. I'm so grateful for that. Thank you.
Definitely. And also throwing out there, what if that wasn't the first time you were taught that you were worth less? What if, as a baby, there's conversations about, oh my gosh, this kid's expensive. How are we going to make ends meet?
Oh,
And now all of a
totally.
sudden you're a financial burden. And even pre verbally, you have this imprint that, oh my gosh, that I'm not enough. I don't deserve more because I'm such a burden. And everything that brings up and lets down, destroy it and create it.
Oh, yeah.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all that shorts, boys and beyonds. I like asking the question, like, when have I felt like this before? And then everything that
Yeah.
that brings up, destroy it and create it. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all that shorts, boys and beyonds. Because oftentimes the thing that stands on your mind, that might not be the original thing, but with the clearing statement, it does go to all the points of creation where you start to create that as your reality. So even if you don't ask that question, the clearing statement will start to unravel all those things.
Totally. And man, does it change things with, bodies and beings. Like I have my super cool fan here because like as we're like running these clearings, I'm like, wow, like so much change. And I'm just so grateful for these tools and for the clearings that we're running. This is like some pretty cool energy we're playing with today.
Yeah. And there was one other really good comment that I think we could do a cool clearing on if you have a little bit of time. I know we were planning to go like 15, 20 minutes. Let's bring,
Yeah.
it's the first time we streamed in a while, so we can
I
go.
know. Yeah.
But Valerie brings us up, and this reminds me of like
Oh,
tall
that's
poppy
awesome.
syndrome, right?
Yeah.
But she said that I feel like if I shine too bright, others will feel bad because they don't laugh out loud. And what other excuses are we using to refuse the infinite us we could be choosing, right? And because like maybe the greatest contribution you could be is to be that voice. So people love authenticity. You can think of, I'm not going to name names, you can think of people that are in the media all the time that are really authentic and people flock and are huge fans of them, and it has nothing to do with their message. It has to do with they are being truly authentic to themselves. So what if you could truly be authentic to you, people wouldn't be looking at you as like, oh, I don't have that. What if you were the inspiration for them to start looking to be them?
Well, yeah, and I mean, Hank's heard this before because we've talked about it in foundation, but it's like, what if you can be an energy that instead of pretending to be less than people and pushing them up, what if you could be an energy, a bright light, a brilliance, an invitation that invites people to step up to greater? And what if being you, as Dr. Dain Heer says, and he has an amazing book, Being You, Changing the World, what if you being you is the gift, the invitation? What if it is what will change the world? And so, anywhere, any and all of you guys, anywhere, any and all of us thought that being us hurt other people or made other people feel bad, and all of those lies and inventions and points of view and whatever all that is, can we just destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Because what if you being you and creating what you know you came here to create is the gift that this world and this earth is truly asking for? And is now the time.
Absolutely. I want to bring up Amber's comment too. She was saying that she doesn't work right now, so she has that burden feeling now too. And it reminds me in foundation, there's like 3 keys to a successful relationship. And one of those is that either your partner's financially abundant or your partner holds the space for you to be financially abundant. So
Yeah.
people who aren't working, it's not necessarily that if you don't have a job and don't work that you're a burden. What contribution are you? And just one my wife, for example, she's the breadwinner in our household. However, I'm holding the space with my business background to help her with a lot of the things that she does. And so like I'm being a contribution to her and she's being a contribution financially. It's not necessarily that one person has to work and one person doesn't. The contribution is not just money. Contribution is not.
Yeah. Oh no, you're frozen. Am I frozen? Someone's frozen.
I'm not sure. The
Well,
internet here is weird right now. The entities
I'm
are
really
excited
grateful
because
for
we haven't
that.
talked about them yet, so they're trying to remind us, talk about the entities. No.
Maybe so. Maybe it is time to talk about the entities. One thing I would like to say, a question I'd love to ask is, where and when did you buy that you were a burden? And how have you defined burden? Because there's so much charge on the word burden. Like even saying it out loud, it's like, so, all that is. Would you be willing to destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And what definitions and judgments and points of view of burden do you have that don't allow you to perceive no be and receive the gift that you be? And everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So should we talk about some entities?
First, I'll just bring up Valerie by saying, this is so helpful. Thank you so much. And
you're welcome.
And Debbie's saying, don't forget about the aliens. Well, I mean, we're just so everybody knows, like people, we are entities. We just are entities with bodies, right? So there's a lot of entities, and talk to the entities is like a specialty of Access, and it's been one of my favorite classes of all time. And one of the things you're going to hear us talking a lot about is we are having a whole series of Talk to the Entity classes coming up, and the big one will be the actual beginning class, which is going to be over Halloween weekend. What better time to learn about talking to the entities that when the veil is the thinnest. So that's going to be like October 28th for an intro class, and then 30th and 31st, like 10 to 5 for the beginning class. And I don't have it all up on the website yet. So I'm just asking people, mark your calendars, and that's going to be available. But we're going to be doing a lot of our streaming, taking like some little mini skims on some of that material to kind of give people a taste and flavor of what all that work is about. Because of all the Access classes, that one probably has changed my life the most. Foundation, a close second.
Oh, yeah.
But I love Talk to the Entities. If you can learn to receive from entities, like it's a game changer. I will say that. And we'll get more into that with some of these other things.
Truly. Yeah.
Oh, see, and look at this, Amber. She was saying she was a burden. Her partner just came in, walked in and heard this and started laughing, saying he would totally fall apart without me. So every place where we have shortchanged our contribution to those around us, destroy and uncreate all that. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
So grateful. Wow.
Awesome.
Wow.
Anything else we really want to like touch on before we call it? Because we're a little bit over time.
Well, I mean, that's just, that's such a beautiful note to wrap this up with, is just the gratitude that we can be for ourselves. And the more we're in gratitude for ourselves, and the more we can receive it from others. And you can't be in gratitude and judgment simultaneously. And it allows for that space of receiving, like just what Amber mentioned. So how does it get better than that?
How does it get better than that? And one of my favorite sayings, this is my mantra when I got sober, because I've been sober like 13 years now from alcohol. And one of the mantras I was given is self-pity and gratitude cannot coexist. And it kind of sounds like, hey, judgment and gratitude cannot coexist.
Yeah.
Judgment and gratitude cannot coexist. Judgment and gratitude cannot coexist. And all the and everything underneath that from any lifetime destroyed and uncreated. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And we had Amber just saying, thank you. You're most welcome, Amber. Thank you for tuning into our kind of like our new debut. And I think Mike was just bringing up that I think we've talked about conclusions, but any place, because conclusions are all solidities. And if you come to a conclusion about something, so like if you come to a conclusion on anything, you're in a solidity. So anytime you're in definition or conclusion, what would it take for you to shift from that into the chaos of possibility? And everything that doesn't allow that, destroyed and uncreated. Right and wrong, good and bad. Pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Feels good I'm pot and pocking a little bit more this time. I usually like leave a pot and pock. Cool.
But I love that. Thank you, Mike, for that idea. I would love for an upcoming stream to be on the joy of conclusion that many people function from.
The joy of conclusions. That sounds like Valerie's giving a resounding yes as well. Thank you so much. But truly, this is great. I think we're going to keep later streaming times going forward from the kind of the feel that Heather and I were getting of what would create more. So you can look forward. It might not always be 3 o'clock, but you can look forward to us being on at least probably every Wednesday at some point, and maybe we'll add and sprinkle in a couple other places here and there as it feels fun to do so. And everybody's just saying, yeah, everybody's just really interactive today. Thank you so much for your contributions and comments.
Thank you.
Heather, what about a final note before I play the outro?
Well, what gratitude can you be for you that you've been refusing, that if you would choose it and be it, would change your whole life and the world with total ease? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyond.
That is a beautiful note to end on. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Please be a contribution to our efforts and share this video. Actually, don't just share it. Be the invitation. Message somebody and say, hey, I listened to this and this is so good. I really think you get something out of it. Be the invitation and help us spread the contagion of consciousness. All right. But until next time, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us today for the show. Holistic Health and Healing is part of the Emergence of Being Contributor Network. Visit us at emergenceofbeing.com for all of our contributors' content and to learn about our services and upcoming events. Please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. You can contribute to the show by supporting our efforts and sharing our content with those you care about and those who need it most.